today how to solve Chapter 26, Question 3 with the jump instructions. Today we'll be doing the regression equation here and then interpreting that on a scatter plot. That'll be the interpretation there. Then plugging that into a regression equation in the fit model, and then finding the p-value from that, and then some more interpretation down here. So to start, we'll copy the data into jump, and then head over to jump here, new data table, edit, paste with column names. So we're first going to start with a fit y by x, going analyze, fit y by x. We know it's a fit y by x because it's just asking for two variables. And it tells us up here that the response variable is week sales, so it's this one, which is the y, and the explanatory variable is the display fee, and that tells you up here in the equation, this last sentence right here. We'll press OK, so that will plot it. From here, we'll press the little red arrow to get the fit line, which will give us the equation here. We can plug the 92.881 and the 39.79, rounding 3 decimal places here. Moving on down here, we'll then identify the right scatter plot. And you can see this one obviously matches here. And then interpreting that scatter plot using the straight enough condition, which is what it's talking about right here. We would say that yes, it is straight enough because the plotted points show a rough linear association. And you can tell that because the points generally follow the line. There might be a few outliers that you could remove here and there, but for the most part, it follows the line. This one would not as much, this one, but this is the one we're looking at here. Then it asks to build 6 dummy variables, which luckily for us, they did that for us. And then fit the multiple regression of the residuals from the simple regression. So you have to first plot the residuals from the simple regression. It tells you that right here. Fit the multiple regression of the residuals from the simple regression. So you have to go into, this is on our simple regression, which is that fit y by x that we just did. Click the little red arrow, save residuals. And if you look over here, it saved the residuals in our data. Then we'll go back, we'll kind of hide this. We'll go back to our data here, and we're going to plot it for the multiple regression, which is what they're talking about right here, the multiple regression. So we'll do analyze, fit model. Since we're doing the residuals are going to go up in the y. It tells us that because the residuals are there. And then we're going to plot all the dummy variables, which is what it's talking about up here in the construct model effects. So press shift, click all those in, just drag them in. Make sure to change the emphasis to minimal report, run it. And then you can see here, let me bring this closer, the predicted residuals come from the estimate here, 37, 37, 41. I'll spare you all that, but all these numbers would go into here, rounding to 3 decimal places, of course. Then it's asking us to determine the overall significance from the F statistic, which is, and it's asking for the p-value specifically. So you would look at the probability of F, not the F ratio, the probability of F, and it's asking for it to be rounded to 3 decimal places. So you would, since that 1 is less than 5, ignore that, and it's just 0. Put 0 in there. Then it's asking for some more interpretation to describe the fit. This part is specifically asking about this question up here. You can tell that of the shelf space in feet, the 1 foot and 7 foot columns, I guess you would call them, are below or tend to be below the line here. And then the other ones tend to be above the line. So just 1 and 7 are the ones that are below. This is 7 here. This is 1 here. They're below the line. The rest are all above the line. So you would say when the shelf space is 1 foot or 7 foot, the residuals tend to be negative. And you can tell it right, they're below the line, they're negative. Otherwise, they tend to be positive. Looking up here, they're above the line, so they're positive. And then down here, because the p-value of the ANOVA F statistic is 0, you got that 0 from up here, which came from this part of the residuals here, this 1 in, or the 0 in yellow here. is less than 0.05, obviously 0 is less than 0.05, then the residuals of the dummy variables does explain significant amount of variable, right? If this happened to be a 0.06, then it would be above 0.05, so then it would not explain the significant amount of variation in residuals. And if there were a true linear association between the sales and numbers of feet of shelf space, the result would not occur because the residuals would be evenly distributed about 0 for each value of shelf space. All right, we'll hope that helped with the chapter 26 homework, reviewing how to predict residuals, plot a benefit y by x, create the equation from the fit y by x, and then some interpretation. Oh, and finding the p-value of the f statistic. All right, thank you.